Well, you know, I tried to do a book several years ago, and Vince McMahon jumped all over it and said, told all the writers, the production companies, and all that, hey, if you do this book, you'll never do another book for me. And, you know, he does a lot of wrestling books, not that they're true wrestling books, but he does wrestling books. This book is absolutely true. I had to leave a lot of things out of it that if I had put Vince McMahon's name and other scrupulous characters in there and their habits and their things they do, it would be stopped again. So we kept them out of it, basically. Didn't want to talk about them because we figure it's enough stuff there to do another book if we decide to do it. And right now I'm collecting information and things out of my storage area, which I have a humongous storage area, and that's where all this information came from. And, you know, plus I was a bounty hunter for over 17 years, and I was rated the #1 bounty hunter in the world. And, you know, that's after my wrestling career, but the wrestling career really helped me on my bounty hunting. And it's just been one thing after another. People want to do bounty hunting books. I said no. They want to do wrestling books, and they want me to make up things and tell things that are not true. I said no. So when I met with John Cosper, he come down to Tennessee. We sat down and talked for a couple of hours, and I said, okay, you're the man I want to do the book. And he said, okay, I appreciate it. And we've been almost over, I'd say, a year and a half probably working on this. And finally we had to stop writing because if we kept on, it'd be a 1,000-page book. Yeah, a lot of things that people don't know. We tried to pick out the things that people wanted to know more. You know, it was our feeling that they would want to know about it before some of this other stuff. So that's the reason we decided to write about what we wrote about, the high spots, things that people had no idea what really happened until they read it in this book.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool that you kind of prefaced it with saying that, because I think, you know, we have all the information that's been out there since obviously the infamous incident in 1985, and you've talked about that at length in other interviews and doing talk shows and being one of the guys who wasn't afraid to come forward and say whatever the hell was on your damn mind, which we love. I mean, as wrestling fans, we love that. But I think it's cool that we finally get to learn the story about you, because you've kind of been plucked from history, and now we get to fill in the gaps that we've been trying to, as wrestling fans, trying to fill in ourselves for the last 25 years.
Yeah, well, you know, people always take, you know, when I first started, Herb Welch started me down in Dyersburg, Tennessee. He was probably the toughest man I ever met or got in the ring with. I drive 45 miles to train as a wrestler. When I got back home, say 3 hours later, my wife would have to come out of the house. I'd sit there and blow the horn, and she'd have to physically come out and lift my legs out of the car or truck, whichever one I was driving, and help me into the house. Now, that went on for a couple of weeks, and then I started getting used to it. Your body starts getting used to the torture they put you through. They don't put you through that torture today. Back then, they didn't want you in the business. If you wasn't tough enough to be in the business, they'd get you out of it. They'd take it out of you and see how tough you was and see how dedicated you was and see if you could take the punishment that was going to be dished out to you. And the main thing was to protect the business at all costs. So that's where Herb Welch was, and after about 3 months, he took me outside and said, David, you're hurting these guys. Now, these are pro wrestlers that work for Nick Goulas and all over. I mean, they're older people, but they finally told him, said, listen, we got to stop working with this guy. He's going to hurt us or we're going to hurt ourselves trying to keep away from him. Well, I was raised up to it. I didn't mind a fight, you know. I love to fight. So anyway, you know, he called me outside and told me, you got to lighten up. You got to learn how to wrestle. I said, what have you been doing for 3 months, Herb? Beating the hell out of him? He said, well, I wanted to be sure you want to do it. I wanted this here. You got to stop doing that. Well, you've never told me any different. You know, you never told me that it would be entertainment or exhibition, wrestling exhibition. You never told me anything about it. So he said, well, I'm going to tell you about it now. So he started telling me, he got me in the ring, showing me different things, and he said, this is what you do. don't forget what I showed you, but don't let people know you know how to take care of yourself in a wrestling ring. Because if you do, they'll never use you. They'll be scared of you. And I guess people just got scared of me. I don't know why, but, I guess I could outperform them, out-talk them, out-look them, out-wrestle them, out-fight them. I don't know why they got scared. I always treated everybody real good, But there's a it's a very hard road to go. I never missed a wrestling match in my whole career. I never was late for one. And, I did my job, what I was supposed to do. And I always did what the promoter asked me to do. And I guess that was my downfall, doing what Vince told me to do. But, still, I have a 100% record of doing what the promoters told me to do. And after I look back, I wish I hadn't done half of what the promoters told me to do. Nothing to do with Vince. I'm talking about the promises and the guarantees and this here. Oh, my God, these guys can lie and make and that's what you're there for, to get to the top. You're not there to stay on the bottom match all the time. When they promise you the top spot, we got it coming. You work for it, and in about a year they say, hey, these guys want you in, Knoxville, Tennessee. Big company there wants you, and they're going to use you. They're going to do this. I talked to the motor, same promises, same lies, but the hope was there that I'm going to get up, where I can do something and make some big bucks. But it didn't happen. They had their guys and their guys only, and nobody else got a chance. It's just like Memphis, Tennessee, Jerry Lawler. Always the guy, he owned part of the territory. He called all the shots. He won because he was the guy that called the shots, win and loss. In my opinion, this guy couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag. And, there's several of them like that now. And, they run their mouth on the TV and interviews and stuff, and they don't back it up, and it's lies, and everybody knows it's lies, but they try to make them think it's truth. It's not the truth. Jerry Lawler is in the same. Under my opinion, him and Vince McMahon should get married together. They just, he does, McMahon's boy, he does his work for him. He goes out and he makes deals, and he always looked after Jerry Lawler, never looked after anybody else. But I guess the bottom line is you should look after yourself, so maybe he was doing the right thing. I don't know.